Guys, it's Spartan D, and today we are going to be going over the provisional license combat training event and also the unit that comes with it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into what it is that she does. And I'll just say right off the bat, I've already looked at her. Yeah. She's a free unit. That's always nice. But past that, and these aren't her max stats, by the way, but I've got her pretty close. So this is Camie. Her ulti, at the very least, does damage, and you'll see why I say that in a second. But it'll be 500 when it's maxed out, and that'll also be 20%, but deals 500 damage to a single opponent, high chance to charm the opponent for 3 turns, and also decreases the opponent's skill impact for 3 turns by 20%. But this is what it will be. This is just like the first day, and I did get 2 days worth. And I haven't like completely went through the day yet. I'm still farming. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. But here on her skill, she has a low chance of charming all the opponents for 3 turns and increases the ultra gauge of all allies by 15%. Pretty sure that maxes out at 20%. And her next ability decreases the defense of a opponent by 20% for 3 turns, which is pretty strong. Honestly, I would have liked it if it was like all opponents for 3 turns, but you know, I'm sure at some point she'll get an actual card, like an ultra rare card that you can summon for, so I'm not completely bothered by it. I was pretty hyped to see her, but her kit is a bit lacking, and it's mainly lacking because like if she has some form of healing, I wouldn't mind it too much, and the fact that she's not doing damage on either one of her skills. But it's interesting. I'm not opposed to it. I have not played with the charm effect in PvP, so I'm not sure exactly how strong it is. So maybe that's why they withheld. Honestly, if both of these skills did damage, I wouldn't even mind her kit like whatsoever, even if it was low damage. But I think they're overvaluing the charm, or I might be undervaluing it, because I've only seen it be done to my team, and all it does is stun them. So it makes them inactive. The charm just makes them inactive. And I'm honestly not entirely sure how much merit there is to, like, you know, a stun, and that's it. Like, just a stun, and the chance isn't guaranteed to work. And honestly, if it did, this would be like one of the best units in the game, even if it doesn't do damage, just purely off the fact that you get free turns, and just having free turns is like insane. So yeah, I'm pretty sure once she actually gets a card, she's gonna be like one of the best units in the game, depending on how they decide to deal with her. But yeah, once per battle, she'll increase the plus ultra gauge of all allies by 20% and regenerates their HP by 10% for 3 turns when her HP goes below 50%. Now, my issue with this is that there's a threshold for this. I don't like the fact that there's a HP threshold for this effect, because if there was not a HP threshold that needed to be met, the condition, she'd be a lot better, honestly. Because then she would just be you know, her whole gimmick would be to, you know, restrict the effectiveness of the enemy team while also getting your ultra gauge up as soon as possible, which is like incredibly strong. So like she has little tidbits. She's not a bad unit, but she does have like little tidbits where she could be amazing, and I think it's just a precursor to how good an actual Camie card can be. So there's that. And she also decreases the speed of opponents when the battle starts. So she's really good to start out with, I would say. And her kit's honestly pretty well made. I don't really have too many complaints about the kit outside of, you know, there just being slightly not enough utility, and then there not being enough damage that she's doing. She will cause a bit of chaos though, so I suppose there's that. And this is just the extra skills that she ended up getting, which is, you know, whatever. These are her stats. I've invested a little bit into her, just so she's not like incredibly squishy and like doing the absolutely no damage, which is why you see the power increase on the rolls, and a little bit of speed so she's not getting like outsped by like everything in existence, because speed's not all that great. But it is what it is. I suppose I should also go over the memory as well. The event memory. So this is the will to run, and you know that'll go away once the event's done, but you get bonuses. I did not check to see if they individually give 6%, so I'll probably check that out once I get another copy, which will be soon. But this is kind of the thing that they're running with, the below 50% HP threshold, which for my team is somewhat difficult because we have a lot of support, so we'll see how that works. But it'll increase the character's ultra move skill impact by 40%, and once per battle gives the character ability to evade once, which isn't bad, which is not bad at all. And then the extra skill here is given skill impact, which is, it doesn't matter because she doesn't have damage on her skills, but it does reduce the action skill damage to the character by 13% for 3 turns. So that is a good enough effect to where I would keep it simply for the extra ability. But yeah, this right here, this first part is what you'll be seeing, and that pretty much covers the character. That's pretty much the kit. So we just go into the event, which I've pretty much cleared out already. I did this twice already, just because I got it before the day reset, like literally a couple of minutes beforehand, and then I just did it over again. And I went into here, and you could already see like I'm already on the 4th lineup. Again, I haven't really farmed this day, so there's that. And also they have this here where you don't have to do it 10 times. You can, you know, swap it to 50 or 100 to just blow all of your tickets at once. Just based off of like farming and how I've been able to farm, doing it in the mass is not good. It honestly is honestly worse, because like whatever your odds are for that, if it's not good, then it's just set. So it's kind of, hopefully that makes sense. And we're like doing it, you know, in small bursts is better, simply because the odds, and then, you know, not necessarily for like the lottery exchange, though I still hold on to that belief, but for farming, especially because we had a double drop rate. I only do it in like 7s or 3s for the awakening materials, like the last one. So that's just how I do it. here's pretty much where you're gonna get like all of her awakening materials and all that, which is nice. And then in the lineup, you don't have to put any. This is why the event's good. They just max out the character for you. You'll get the character maxed out when you get to draw 11, because here will be the second portion of increasing her ability. And there's no reason to rush. There's literally no reason to rush. They just give you the character maxed out for free. So just continue to diligently farm for this. It doesn't take that long. Like I said, this is like, sorry, this is like not even 2 days, because I haven't farmed today. It's literally just 1 day's worth, and I got that far. But again, my team is, you know, more or less my team's more or less maxed. They're not completely maxed, but yeah. And this is basically where you would see, this is pretty much like what I said. Oh, this one is actually 25, so that's pretty good. Excuse me. So yeah, it's going to increase the gauge by 20. This is 500, and that's 20%. This is, and the cooldowns for it is like, that's another thing too. The cooldowns are pretty, but I understand why it's a few turns out of when you would use it. But it's just the fact that if it doesn't work, if the charm doesn't work, it's kind of, you know, you're kind of screwed, because then she's just a useless character until, like, if she's not built good enough to survive onslaught, because she will get targeted. If she's not strong enough to survive and you don't get her ulti off, which, you know, pretty much guaranteed to stun for 3 turns, which is like her entire kit. But you also don't want to hard focus that, because if she doesn't have like protection, like she needs some type of evasion or cover support, and the team needs to be fast enough to outspeed like everything else. Otherwise, she's going to get hard targeted and just taken out immediately, and she has no use. And then that's kind of like where this card comes in, because they pretty much gather like, okay, the way we tailor this unit, she's not really good enough to stand on her own. And if she doesn't survive, she's useless. So they gave her the ability to evade once. Honestly, if it was like 2 turns, it'd be a lot better. And they could have done this to where, like, they could have honestly made it like 3 turns, like for a Camie card, or specifically this SR, because if they do put one in the future and then it's similar to this one and she's doing damage and she's doing a lot more than this SR, and then that Camie has the ability to like dodge for 3 turns under 50%, she will undoubtedly be the best utility unit in the game, and one of the best units in the game, undisputed, because of the fact once she gets below HP threshold and you don't kill her, she's gonna guaranteed stun the team for 3 turns or more, and it's gonna feel really bad. It's going to be incredibly oppressive, especially when you factor in like whenever Midnight releases. I don't remember what her kit was, but I do remember her being like pretty freaking strong, if I'm not mistaken, based off the other servers, because I do remember seeing someone summon for her. I honestly wish I had the information. Hold on, let me check real quick. Let's see. I swear there was a Midnight card. I can't find any information on that. That's a shame. Anyways, outside of that, Jay Panther's been doing some work, man. Jesus. That's all you see is Jay Panther. But yeah. that's pretty much what the card does, what the character does, which, you know, I suppose is nice. In the events, nothing to write home about. Like, this is the max for hard difficulty. This is the, excuse me, this is the max for like normal. So this is, in comparison to the last event, this one is significantly easier to me than the last one. The last one was like pretty difficult, but it's honestly, it's justified to me because of like the fact that we had so much, they gave us so much in the beginning. It's such a massive boost. If you were playing every single day until it ran out, you should be good. So it kind of makes sense why that particular event was like super difficult, and then this one is like, honestly, it's really easy. It's really easy. You want to know how easy this event is? I'm going to, let's see. Let me just do this. So I'll pop 6 there, boom. And then I saved 1 just to show you how like easy this is. Just to show you how easy this is. I'm gonna do this as well. Let's show Camie off. Let's go ahead and show her off. Show off what she does. I do have it set to auto, just because this is how easy the event is for me. And I do have to stress that, for me. Make sure we pop that. The auto feature won't do it unless you do it, so let's see if this charm works. It missed. It missed. It missed. And this is my thing, bro. Like, if it doesn't hit, which both of those missed as well, if it doesn't hit, her damage is miserable. And her merit is just not there. Like, what is she doing? Look at the damage that she does, and you know, the other 2 characters are essentially maxed out, and they have like full investment, so it's not like the greatest of comparisons. But this is, you know, this is where her actual merit comes from. Unfortunately, Neji did that before. So, charm. And you don't really get to see it because the you know, Todoroki died. But again, like this is like super easy. And we'll show it off. We'll show it off in the actual boss event, the one where you're fighting an orca. Oh, and now it's Todoroki. I wonder why they have you fighting Todoroki instead of Gang Orca. Let's see. So I would say PvP wise, I do not know how good she actually is. I actually want that crit instead. I don't really care about the confusion. Confusion doesn't matter that much. But yeah, my full team: Uraraka, Neji, and Shoto. I pretty much just like, I just have this full auto and no problem, like at all, like no issues. Here we just pop that, do this, Charm. It missed. They give a defense down. That was the defense down. Okay. Charm missed. The defense down is nice, but yeah, it's like her damage just isn't. It's just not there, which is a shame. But she's not fully built up yet. She's like halfway, pretty much. In terms of like her ability for it, she's halfway. And she's not like completely. And like, even if I didn't use the Uraraka ulti right there, they would still clean up. They would. This core, Neji and Uraraka, is just such a ridiculous core, man. It's such a ridiculous core. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the event. And there's not too much to it outside of that. And then you just come here. There's some good stuff in here. I'll go over this as well. So they have some good stuff. They have stuff for, you know, Neji, and then the memory. And then they have star pieces in here. They also have these proteins, the jellies, the HP chips, which is pretty good. They also have some training materials in here, so it's like they actually make it like fairly worth it to then go ahead and, you know, farm this out. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. You get some pretty decent stuff in here. I've pretty much farmed most of the stuff. Like I've gone full reset for most of them until it gets into the super tiny trading materials, and then I'm just kind of off it. But yeah. So here is the where's that? There we go. Here's the new units. Here's the Todoroki. He does damage to a single opponent, decreases defense by 30% if the opponent has frostbite, and his skill impact is increased by 40% if the opponent is burning. So basically how you get frostbite is through this ability here, which it's single target, so it's a bit different. And they show this off in the event. You have a chance to get frostbite when it has to be used last. It has to be used last or it does not work. So already there's a bit of a restriction there. And here, this one has a lower chance to cause frostbite, but there's no skill chain restriction on it. And it's increasing your ultra gauge by 30%, which is pretty good. Definitely not bad. Decreases the speed of all opponents by 15% for 3 turns when a wave begins, and increases your skill damage by 40% when HP is 50% or higher. So already I'm seeing synergy with this Todoroki and the Camie that came out, which is like actually pretty good because she's also decreasing speed. So you kind of want to pair these two together. And I would say something like a Uraraka or like a Neji or either one of the Red Riots because of the cover, or just muscle, what's his dude name? Muscular, whatever his name is. Whatever cover unit that you have to pair with them so they can do their thing. If you wanted to use the Camie, and I'm speaking purely PvP, because like PvE, she's good. I don't know how good she would actually be with bosses. I would have to, you know, try that out myself. So there's that. And once per battle, reduces the character's action skill cooldown by 3 and increases their ultra gauge when their HP is below 50%. So they really made it so this Todoroki will be spamming, and I mean spamming, the ulti Like actually spamming the ulti. So his damage can, like, if this Todoroki doesn't get taken out, his damage is going to continue to ramp up. And he's decreasing your defense. This Todoroki is actually nuts. This Todoroki is actually disgusting. This might be the best Todoroki. To be perfectly honest, this might be the best Todoroki. And I haven't looked at the movie Todoroki, so I need to see what he does. I just completely ignored that because, I mean, as a free-to-play, you have to be very picky with what you invest into. And I've already decided I'm going to, like, skip majority of these banners just because, for one, a lot of my gem income is used to, like, refresh stamina still. Because I'm just getting to the point where I'm fully maxed out on my full starting, my regular and my bench. So I've been working on that, and whenever there's double drop rates, I just stockpile materials, because why wouldn't I? It makes the most sense to. But yeah. So here's Inasa. So he does 500 standard to single opponent. Skill impact is increased if the opponents are burning, and it has a medium chance to cause opponent to bleed. Okay. So deals damage to all opponents, decreases the speed of opponents by 25% for 3 turns, and low chance to cause bleed. What's with this bleed? It's gotta mean something. Increases the power for, that's a lot, and increases speed of allies when successfully executing the skill chain. So already, it really does seem like they want you to use the Camie, the Todoroki, and the Inasa together. That's really what it seems like they want you to do. Increases the gauge by 30 when the battle starts. Increases power when speed is increased. When HP is below 50, it increases character skill impact by 40. It makes them a static. Okay. This is, yeah, they really do want you to use this Inasa with the Todoroki, because he doesn't get a part of his plus ultra bonus unless you're using a Todoroki or some type of, like, Endeavor or a Dabi or something like that. But they really want you to use them together. Okay. And here we have the Endeavor card, Sign of New Beginning. Increases critical rate by 40 when it's equipped to a strength type character. Increases max HP by 20% if there are any pro heroes on the team. Any pro heroes. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. They basically want, this Todoroki is a nuke. He's a nuker. He's a literal nuker. That's all they want you to do. Increases the character's plus ultra gauge by 50 when battle starts. That's interesting, because you could pop that on the Camie if you want, to just, like, immediately get her charm off, and just, like, basically with Camie, Inasa, and Strength Total. Okay, Seka. With those 3, and then put this on Camie, and then you just roll for some extra ultra gauge, she can literally pop her ultra turn 1. She can literally pop it turn 1. And then you're already winning with the speed tier, so you literally could just, like, basically, that's actually really strong. That's really strong. They really want you to use those 3 in tandem. That's actually really disgusting, and that in itself could be, like, meta shaping. These 3 together is meta shaping. I honestly don't know what beats them, like, in getting their abilities off turn 1. So that's pretty interesting. I'll go through this real quick. I honestly don't care about the other characters. It's really just the Todoroki that I'm interested in seeing. But we'll go over it. Yes, relative to the speed, it's a single increases the speed. So you want to use that one before you want to use the flick, the Delaware Smash before you use Detroit Smash. When the character's below, they get a power increase and they get ability to last stand, which is good if the opponent doesn't have multi-hits. If they do, you're screwed. Increases the character's plus ultra gauge by 30 when the battle starts and their crit rate. So again, much like all the Midoriyas, the Dekus, they just come in, do a ton of damage, and then that's it. They just that's all they do. It's cookie cutter Midoriya. It's whatever. I'm not really a fan of the Midoriyas. They're pretty whatever, and they usually don't like. They usually don't last long enough for me to care what they're doing unless the support is like really massive. And honestly, with this new Todoroki, I would say he's more worthy of that than this Deku, but he's not a bad character by any stretch of means. He's really good. He does really good damage. It's just I'm valuing like an overall package more than just like doing damage. Because if you don't do enough damage to like nuke everything or like one target, whatever the target is, if you're just not immediately nuking it, I don't really care what else you have. If you can't do that every single time that you're out on the field, I don't think you're worth much. So yeah, the Bakugou, the skill impact increase when a critical rate down. Okay, deal damage to opponents, increases skill impact. He does a lot of damage. Single opponent, chance of burning them also decreases the opponent's crit rate when successfully used in the skill chain. Okay, so you probably want to use that after you use the first one, right? Yeah, you definitely want to use it afterwards. It has a low chance of burning, which is nice. Increases a character's speed by 30, meaning you'll definitely go first. Well, that's what they want. And he gets a ultra gauge boost. Increases the character's power by 40% when HP is below 50. And decreases opponent's power by 20 when the wave starts for 3 turns. Straight up power boost is insane. He's doing, again, they're just doing a lot of damage. It's not too much past that. Okay, damage, high chance of freezing, medium chance of binding. Okay, it's interesting. Damage to all opponents, low chance of burning them, increases skill impact for all allies. So he's more of a support Todoroki. Deals damage to a single opponent, medium chance of freezing, also reduces its damage to all allies by 30 when... Yeah, this is a really good support Todoroki. This Todoroki's really, really good. That's really good. Damage reduction, that's really, really good. And the chance to embolize the opponents. Lowers chance of all allies burning. Okay, increases power by 40. Wow. This is increases character's power if there are any pro heroes on it. Wow. This Todoroki's doing a lot, bro. This is the best. This is best in banner. And this is honestly one of the... Okay. So the strength Todoroki's nuking, this one overall just is doing so much more. And honestly is... He's kind of a counter. He's kind of a counter to the strength Todoroki. I say kind of because if you don't win the speed war, then this dude's not worth much because the Todoroki will have already done a good amount of damage that he wants to. And if you're using Inasa, Camie together with that strength Todoroki, he's probably gonna wreck you. When equipped with a male character, increase the skill impact by 40 and speed by 30. Right, 3 Musketeers. So you kind of want this. You basically want this Todoroki with some high speed tier characters. or characters that are lowering speed, because otherwise you're like the speed war meta is here, and it's kind of why I've been taking a backseat to PvP. Not because it's affecting me at all. My team's got some relative speed, but that's not what they're there for. My team is specifically built to be tanky, so I don't really care about speed tiers. Because the thing that, like, you can already see it, right? Both of those banners already is just like, we want to go first. We want to go first. Which, like, if you're free to play, you can't keep up with that, man. I would honestly say for free to play characters, your best incentive if you want to go far in PvP would be to make sure that your team, no matter what the circumstance, is able to complete whatever their objective is. Like, whatever you have your team built to do, make sure that they're able to do it, and not focus really on speed. Not to ignore speed, but in the event that you don't win the speed war, you don't get completely demolished. Like, so, which is this is very interesting. This is very interesting, and I'll have to play a lot more of PvP just to see where it is. And I'm not getting either one of those Todorokis right this moment, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that pretty much covers everything that came out today. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to be spending most of my time in the events, the finishing of the VE tower in PvP, pretty much. But yeah, I think this video's gone on long enough. Thank you all for watching, and let me know what you all feel about just how everything's been shaping up, if you're you know, invested like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Thank you all again. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.